Hello, everybody out there. This is the Broken Battery Pop Culture Podcast, coming once again from an undisclosed location in Livonia.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
I'm with me today is...
That's a pretty catchy theme song we got going on there.
It is completely... You can find it. The artist is actually Like Apollo.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, it's free music found on YouTube, believe it or not. YouTube is good for certain things, you know, like learning how to braid hair and
Tie a tie.
tie a tie, learn how to make crepes. yeah, they're thin pancakes, but they're fucking delicious.
They are. They're quite good.
Anyway, today I'm joined with my usual co-host, the one, the only, Joseph.
Oh. Hello, everybody.
Yes, and we have a spectator in the studio today. You might hear her in the background, but she's really good at being quiet, usually when she's pissed off at me. My girlfriend, Chrissy. Hi. Hey, we picked it. She said hi, folks. Anyway.
She's super excited that you did that, Trav.
Yeah, we're hoping everybody had a great 4th of July, one of the greatest holidays in the history of mankind. And we're glad you're going to join us today for a special episode of the Broken Battery Pop Culture Podcast, because we're just doing a straight-up movie review.
No.
There'll be no spotlight on media. We're just going to be doing a movie review about a movie that just dropped on Thursday. I was supposed to go with Joseph. But...
That whole work thing had to come into play.
Yeah, work thing came up, and we each saw the movie separately. And it is... We each took different things out of this movie. I mean, I thought it was okay. Joe seemed to really enjoy it.
I said it was good.
Yeah. Okay.
Should I have said I didn't hate it?
Okay, that's fine, because there's levels. There's hate, tolerate,
and I didn't hate it.
Yeah, indifferent, neutral. I didn't hate it. Good. That movie needs a sequel. That movie never needs to be directed by Paul Anderson. Okay, so those are the levels of what it is, and the movie was a movie that got pushed back how many times?
I don't know. I felt like I had saw it already, but I didn't.
No, you did, because it's very generic. It's a generic movie.
I don't want to say generic, but I'm just saying, like, it had been like the expectations for this movie to come out. And in my opinion, I think that they should have just released it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, they would have.
They, for every one of their users that would have paid them $29.99, which is what they're doing right now, it probably would have done quite well.
Right.
I mean, I paid $16 for me and my daughter to see it. If I wouldn't have had to do that, I would have had to pay double.
And we call that a bargain, folks.
Yeah. No, exactly. That's what I'm,
Well, the funny thing is we haven't even said the name of this movie. It was Marvel's Black Widow.
Yep.
Which I honestly think she should have got a movie sooner than she did. Great character throughout all the Marvel movies.
Yep.
Even when the Marvel movies themselves weren't that good, she did a good job in performing in her role in almost every single one of them.
Yes, visually
stunning.
Yes, and acting wise, I
thought
she was great from top to bottom.
Top to bottom. In fact, her first appearance in Iron Man 2 was the standout of that movie, because being a comic book nerd, I was like, oh, Natasha Romanoff? I'm like, it's fucking Black Widow. Yeah. It's fucking Black. Yeah. Far out.
Yeah. And if you didn't know that, you were like, oh, that's who that is.
You just like, oh, that's ScarJo.
Yes.
You're like, well, she's got to be somebody.
Correct.
Yes, but it came out, the movie, I mean, I know I warn you at the beginning of every episode there's spoilers, but this is a spoiler review of the movie.
Yep.
The Black Widow is set between the events of Civil War and Infinity War, so it's between two wars. And I think
it was like a war within a war.
It was a war, and it wasn't a tomorrow war.
No.
Or a yesterday war. It was just a war inside of a war. And I think they said family more than the entire Fast and the Furious franchise in this movie.
They did. now that you mention that, yes, they did. You can't go against them.
Oh, yeah, you can't do that, man.
Which, by the way, I've only seen 3 of those movies, but I know they're ridiculous.
Have you seen any of the memes? Amazing.
Yes. No,
blowing up the internet.
Yes.
I just, the guy is Groot. And he's also like the best meme going right now. Good job, Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
But
Congrats.
we're not here to pat you on the back. We're here to look at this movie. And I'll tell you this right now. I didn't hate the movie either. In fact, I was enjoying the movie until one specific thing happened in that movie that really pissed me off. But we'll get to that in a little bit. So let me set the stage for you, Joe. I know you've seen the movie.
Okay, set it. Paint me a word picture.
I'm painting away. I'm going to use highlighters and Sharpies. I'm going to do like the Family Ties theme. And
Whiteboard with a permanent marker.
Exactly. We're playing Pictionary, folks, and you can't see. Anyway, so it's set between Civil War and Infinity War, and the Avengers that lost the Civil War, which I don't know how they lose the Civil War after Captain America beats the shit out of Iron Man, but it happens. They're all on the run. So some of them got taken to jail. Cap and Black Widow managed to get away. And you know, she's running from S.H.I.E.L.D. She's running from John Hurt. I mean, most people run from John Hurt because he looks like a date rapist.
William Hurt.
William Hurt. John Hurt. John Hurt was in that one. Yeah, I forgot. John Hurt. He was in V for Vendetta. Yeah, William Hurt. General Thunderbolt Ross, who was known for going after the Hulk, but they kind of made him the asshole in Civil War and in Infinity War and in Black Widow. But they're going after him, and she goes into hiding. She's all over the world. She's avoiding them, and reasons happen because of something happened in her childhood.
Yes.
Yeah,
they started off the childhood where she's a embedded Russian agent in Ohio in 1995.
At the age of 11 or 12.
Yes.
So, yeah. So she's there with another embedded girl, which is her little sister, but not really her little sister.
Yeah, her sister, Yelena.
So basically, this is like that show, The Americans, except for it's Marvel.
Right.
Yeah.
And it only lasted, 14 minutes, realistically.
Yeah, I mean, it was a cool opening sequence. I'm like, where the fuck are they going with this?
Yeah. No, I did the same thing too. I was like, I was actually quite enthralled by this first scenario.
Yeah, it opened up really strong, and it grabbed you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so nobody's speaking Russian, and then you can kind of see when Hopper from Stranger Things showed up.
Yeah.
He showed up. He's the embedded dad, along with
David Harbour.
David Harbour, great actor,
plays Alexei.
Yes, Alexei, a.k.a. the Red Guardian.
Yes,
which is, if you don't know comics, he's like the second-tier knockoff Russian version of Captain America.
Yeah,
but he did a good job in this. And I don't know who the wife was. I always the actress's name always like
Rachel Weisz.
That was Rachel Weisz?
Yes.
Okay, it was Rachel Weisz. She was in Oz.
Huh?
She was in Oz, not the prison show, but like Oz with $5 Franco.
Oh, $5 Franco. There he comes again.
He's always going to be that North Star when we talk about schlock. So anyway, apparently they were here in a nefarious Russian communist business.
Yes.
And they had a hard drive.
They had the save icon.
They had the save icon.
They 3D printed a save icon that they were taking back. So.
And then he alluded to burning a building down.
Yeah.
And then they took off, and they managed to have some kind of small like Cessna plane.
Yep.
And they escape to Cuba.
Yes.
Yes.
Of all places.
Of all places. They flew over all these people floating on doors going this way to land in Cuba.
It's quite a plan.
Right. And they didn't really make it clear. Like, I thought for a minute that they were an actual family at first.
I did too.
Yeah. But then, then these soldiers kind of jammed needles in the necks of the kids. And I'm like, okay.
Yep. They're operatives.
Yeah, they're operatives. I'm pretty sure that they aren't, no self-respecting dad would let them drug their kids and like knock them out.
Yeah, no, I mean he like totally distracted them, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Hey, listen, girls, listen, look
You're
at
my
me."
girls. You're my girls.
And then they drug him, and I was like, man, if I could ever do that, I could probably leave a place on time.
Absolutely. Okay. Now you'd be calling me, and not that I can find any type of horse tranquilizers or anything like that. I'd be like, Trey, you need to come over with some ether. I'm like, I don't have any ether. You need to find some. So anyway, then it goes into the title sequence, and I'm gonna tell you, Serrano, this is something that I'm getting really tired of in all these movies. Like, it's not just Marvel movies; all these movies, they're taking these '90s songs and doing like a melodious tone, like person singing it, like. They're singing like that Nirvana song.
Yes.
And I was suffering.
Smells like teens.
Yeah, it was. It
Teen
smelled like
Spirit.
Teen Spirit. Yeah. I was suffering through that. I was like, oh God! Like another movie that we saw that I wasn't a fan of was Army of the Dead, and they did the same thing. They had this. It's probably the same fucking singer that did the cover of that song. They did Zombie.
Well, you know what they really need to do is to have Richard Cheese do all these.
Yeah, Richard Cheese. Richard Cheese are out there. We're huge fans.
Yes. Yeah, but the I mean I took it the opposite way. I don't know. I actually don't mind that whole thing because it set the tone, but I don't think that the song had anything to do with it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
I mean, only the fact that it was 1995, and then there was like, oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah, okay.
We're gonna grunge it up a little bit for you, you know.
We got to grunge it up, just because I don't know. If I hadn't heard it in like the last 7 movies I've seen recently, like something similar, I wouldn't be like on the train of, hey, stop it.
Right.
Little originality, folks.
Right.
Well, okay. So anyway,
So it opens up.
they do this flashback stuff about her getting trained in the Red Room. If you don't follow the backstory, she was raised at a very young age to be this master assassin in like basically like Russian Charlie's Angels, but there's a lot more of them. But they had no problem like carrying out assassination plots and all kinds of shit like that. So
Psychologically controlled.
yes, psychologically controlled, and then they, it's not present day, but they jumped ahead 20 years and some change.
21.
21.
Yes.
You can drink. So they jump ahead. She's on the run from everybody because of Civil War. And then you see the baby sister who is still doing assassination shit. She breaks free from her mind control because of this red mist.
Okay, yeah. So the red mist, that was Oksana was that character's name. She was one of the widows.
Yeah, because there's not just Black Widow. They're all Black Widows.
Yeah, she's just the Black Widow. So she gives her that thing. So the premise of the story going forward at this point is that they're not just psychologically controlled; they're chemically controlled.
Chemically controlled. Think
Yes.
about that when you eat preservatives.
Yes, there you go. As Travis sips his 0 sugar sparkling ice caffeine.
It's actually filtered through a coffee filter as well.
Oh, okay, good. So now it's safe.
That's our producer, Chrissy, in the back. Anyway, so she breaks free, and she somehow gets in contact. And then hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. She gets all these vials to, like, free other members. So instead of freeing the ones on site, she decides to just run away. So yeah, I could probably free like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
You have to suspend your disbelief,
Right.
Travis.
Well, I know.
Not everything's that, it's just not that easy.
yeah. Thanks, Captain Hindsight. Yeah. Well, I got 20/20 vision.
There you go.
So anyway, so she runs away, and she goes into hiding too. So we got both of them hiding, and she tries to get in contact with, I'm going to say Black Widow. Yeah, Natasha Romanoff, and because she's the only superhero person that she knows. And I thought that was a great line in that movie. You're the only. In fact, the sister was, in my eyes, the best part of that movie.
Yeah, she was good.
She's very good.
Yes.
And
Florence Pugh.
Lord Pugh. Pew pew. Awesome. So anyway, she sends the stuff to her sister, who happens upon it because she's hiding out.
She's hiding. I think she was in Canada.
No, she's in Norway.
Oh, she was in Norway when
Yeah,
she
nobody wants to go to Canada, Joe.
Oh, why?
Nobody wants to go to Canada.
I do. They got good skiing there.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, so we'll go to Canada for the mountains.
Okay.
Everything else. You can
I didn't know she was in Norway.
Yeah. So
My bad.
it's all right.
They didn't put the big sign up.
No, they said, "Welcome to Norway."
No, that like every time they changed location, it was
They only did it once.
well, they did Morocco.
Yeah, but they didn't do it for Norway.
They did not do it for Norway, and that's why I didn't know she was in Norway.
So they do that, and so she's hiding out, and there's a bunch of it was a bunch of stuff from like Budapest. It was like the Budapest flat. There's this guy. Yeah,
Budapest.
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 Why are you saying it weird?
Yeah, because that's how she says it. Budapest.
Yeah. So anyway, she's there. We forgot about the random dude that can just get anything on the planet.
Yep. His character's name was Mason.
Mason. Yes.
Played by O.T. Fashbalina.
Yes.
I believe.
Joe is a plethora of knowledge.
Yes.
Yes. Very excited.
Google.
Thank you, Google. So he gets all that stuff, mentions the Budapest, whatever, flat safety hideout place, and said there's some stuff in there that you might want to look at. She just got it in the back thinking it's a bunch of junk. And then originally what I thought was the coolest character shows up.
Yes.
Looking for the vials and not her.
Yeah, can't spoil it yet. We gotta wait.
Yes. Well, I know it's Taskmaster
Yeah.
in the movie. Taskmaster is one of my all-time favorite comic book bad guys because he's not overused. He has the coolest superpower.
Yep.
He can just, if you don't know who Taskmaster is, he can look at somebody and just mimic what they do. Not like superpowers, like, so say he can't look at like the Hulk and get all strong and shit, but
Be a
like
lot cooler if he did.
yeah, I know, right? But he can, like, say he looks at, I don't know, Iron Fist or some like really good fighter. He can mimic him completely just by 30 seconds.
Right.
And like,
Oh, it was like a kit, scan of the thing, and he could just do whatever they could do.
right. But that was in the movie. But like in the comics, he
Yeah.
just looked at the shit, and,
Right.
he carried all the weapons that similar to what the Avengers had, which I thought was badass.
Right.
So anyway, Taskmaster shows up and I would say kind of kicks Black Widow's ass. She falls off the bridge.
She went for a swim.
She went for a swim and she gets away, but she made out with the vials because she realized because she's smart.
Yeah,
She's a smart cookie.
She's very smart.
She's very smart, and she gets away. And Taskmaster's like, oh, he didn't say anything because
he didn't say anything.
Yeah, because they don't say anything.
Well, he says stuff in the comics.
Yeah, he says
He says a lot of things.
he's awesome in the comics because
Yes.
he's got a big mouth.
Right.
So the movie progresses. She decides to track down Budapest because there's a
Budapest.
picture. Goes to the other safe house that sent the vials because there's a picture in there of her and her quote unquote little sister.
Yes.
And she put two and two together. Hey, that's her, and she probably needs help. And instead of just showing up and saying hi, she goes there. They get into a fight.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
It was a good fight. It was like,
I mean, at some point, she should have realized who she was actually fighting because of the picture that they had taken together, and maybe stop fighting her. But they pretty much kicked the shit out of each other, which was pretty sweet.
it was super sweet. And you just ask. I'm not going to send Joe a picture and be like, help. He's not going to show up. I'm just going to punch him in the face. And he's like, why? I'm like, I need to move my couch.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to get into a fight in the living room because I'm like, I just need to move the couch, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, they get attacked. There's a great chase scene.
Yep.
And they find out that the person that had usually had her under control, Black Widow, back in the day that she thought she killed, is still alive and still operating this place called the Red Room.
Right.
And the Red Room is where they train all these Black Widows. So her little sister having get freed, and they decide to end the Red Room because it's evil.
Right.
Yeah. So there's your plot. Dreykov. And you find out
Played by a Ray Winstone.
Ooh, fancy. So anyway, they come upon the conclusion they need to find it. They don't know where it's at, so they need to bust out their fake dad out of a prison in Siberia.
David Harbour.
David
Alexia.
AKA Red Guardian.
Yes.
And this scene had one of the grossest breaks I've ever seen.
Yeah,
in a
no, that
movie.
was pretty sweet.
Because he's talking bullshit. He's like Captain America. I threw him out the window. Blah
Yeah.
blah blah. I'm like, and then somebody called him on his bullshit. He's
Yeah.
like, he was frozen when that happened.
Right. But that wasn't the guy that he broke his wrist, though. That was the other big guy that came in after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't say shit, except he was like crying after he
Yeah.
broke it. But if somebody broke my wrist like that, I'd be more than crying.
It looked like a noodle. Like, it was so gross.
Yeah.
So they spring, Hopper from prison, and they get away, and he says, "Hey, I don't know where that is, but I know somebody that does."
Right.
And then we get to revisit the whole family dynamic. They go
Yes.
see Rachel Weisz.
Yes.
Yes, and they go to see Rachel Weisz, and she's training pigs.
Yep.
You find out that she's behind that mind-controlling chemical and shit like that, and that all the widows are infected with it, which we kind of got that idea earlier.
Right.
Because I honestly thought that girl just maced her at the very beginning. Dude, in her face, she's probably going to die or something from it right now. But
Right.
no, it subverted my attention on that. I mean, I was like, oh, nice swerve. So they get this, like, kind of, I don't know, would you say it was like a dysfunctional family thing going?
Yeah, they had all that going on.
Yeah,
it was like the dysfunctional family. Like they packed a whole bunch of dysfunction into 3 years, which they were embedded in Ohio.
It was like the
And-
entire run of the Jersey Shore.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
It was. I mean, I don't know. From everything I saw, it seemed like it might have been kind of happy. She did have her hair a different color. She looked like she was having fun. So.
Well, yeah, she was kind of like, it was fake, and then toward the end of the movie, she's like, no, it was real to me too.
Oh my God, Travis, you're spoiling it.
I think we spoiled plenty so far. Anyway, so Rachel Weisz, I guess she's still loyal to that guy, but not really, that Dreykov. So she's like, I called the Red Room when you first showed up, but I'm sorry that I did that.
Right.
But then we had the Ocean's 11 moments happening in this.
Yes, exactly.
So they all get captured,
yes.
and Rachel Weisz is the capturer of them.
Yes.
So they go to the Red Room, which is floating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty impressive.
It was impressive. I mean, it didn't have anything like cloaking it like the Shield helicarrier. Like nobody's gonna see this giant.
No,
big
it kind of
float.
just like hung out in clouds.
Yeah, it was like like a city in the clouds.
That's weird.
That would never work. I mean, that's not iconic at all.
Nope.
So it's hanging out. They get taken there, and you find out, the dickbag Dreykov. He had everything under wraps. He knew what everything was. He immediately realized that Rachel Weisz isn't what she is. You want to take it from here, Joe?
Well, I mean, at some point, he just like touches the part of her face, and he knows exactly what type of stealth technology that
Yes.
Shield is using.
Uh-huh.
And he unmasks who we think is Rachel Weisz.
I was shocked.
I was too. And then it just ends up being, holy crap, it's Natasha Romanoff. So we go through that, and then we go through the,
The breakout scene.
well, I mean, is it the breakout scene? But it's the villain,
'Cause
that villain's got to tell you everything that he did and what is going on.
The guy Bond monologue.
Oh, yeah.
And you find out that he's got tons of people with this chemical on him, and he can start wars, end wars, do all kinds of shit like that. You know that giant group called Hydra that happened in Captain America?
Yeah.
It was basically the same thing he was doing, but he was doing it with mind control, like,
Black Widows.
yeah, Black Widows and
No.
stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, so he did the same, pretty much the same thing. But he succeeded? No, he didn't succeed. He had the power, but he didn't use it. So, I mean, At what point do those two argue? You know, like Hydra's the one doing this shit, and you got them doing that stuff, and they didn't seem like they got along either because he complained about Hydra in that movie.
Yes.
So, anyway, Rachel Weisz is disguised as Natasha in the jail cell, and there's a humorous moment where the Red Guardian, who he comes across like kind of a selfish dick most of the time, but then he kind of opens up at the very end,
And he just loved everybody.
and he loved everybody.
It was like he drank a fifth of vodka.
Vodka. So anyway, they break out and they got a plan, and the little sister who was captured is going to get her head cut open because they want to know how she broke free. And she gets out. She escapes because...
And takes the time to wash off the marker in which they were going to create the incision. I thought that was a nice touch.
It was a nice touch because I'm sorry, human nature is human nature. If that was going to happen to me, I would wipe it off too. I'm going to give them total credit on
Yeah, I mean, you're just not going to let that sit there.
No, absolutely not. I'm going to get zits. So anyway, so Taskmaster's there.
Yep.
And there's a subplot because when Black Widow defected the shield from the Red Room
with Hawkeye,
Hawkeye helped her defect.
Yes.
She had to take out Dreykov, but she used his daughter as collateral damage in this when she set off the bomb.
Right.
Okay. So this is the part where I got really pissed off at the movie. Okay. Taskmaster's there. Taskmaster's a badass, and I'm like, oh, they're doing this character justice, right? The fucking mask opens up, and it's his fucking daughter. First off, Taskmaster's not a chick.
Nope.
Not at all.
Never has been.
Never has been.
Never claimed to be.
They decided to shoehorn this shit in there, and I'm like, you just fucking ruined it. You ruined this character. And, not to mention, this is Taskmaster. He's always thought for himself. You find out later, under mind control also.
Right. So not actually Taskmaster.
Not actually, no, but they called it Taskmaster. Now there's a
no, they didn't do that. They called it the Taskmaster Protocol.
Right. If you stayed for the credits, which I know you did.
Yep.
If you looked, it said Taskmaster next to her name.
Yes. No, I understand that, but that was completely wrong and stupid.
I'm going to be turbo nerd here. There was another character in Marvel they could have used that has the same powers as Taskmaster, is a female, and has a scarred face. And her name is Echo. Mm-hmm. They could have easily used Echo for this.
Sure.
Yeah, because lesser known character, could have done all that shit. I would have been happy. It would have improved the movie to me a couple notches.
I think that I agree with you that they could have used that character, but that is a very little known character. Even with the obscurity of Taskmaster himself, I would still say that they couldn't have used that. They had to do something, and that was like the surprise girl power twist.
Girl power. Yeah. Sorry.
Right. Don't get all crazy. We don't want to be insulting.
We're not insulting you. I believe in female being strong and empowered.
Travis, okay, I'm just going to tell you, I really like strong female characters. One of my favorite shows of all time is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, absolutely. That was my crush when I was in...
Yeah. I like Wonder Woman. I like...
Power Girl.
Yeah, all of them.
Yes.
But I felt that it was a little bit over the top.
It was super over the top.
It was predictable.
Yes, thank you. Very predictable.
Thank you, producer Chrissy. And also, I mean, it's almost as bad as that scene from Endgame where all the chicks were in the battlefield. They all managed to group up in one specific spot because Spider-Man needed help.
That's right.
Give me a fucking break.
Yeah, well,
Well, whatever.
You got to do what you got to do nowadays.
So anyway, yeah, his daughter's Taskmaster. Anyway.
That was one of the biggest disappointments of the film.
I was very disappointed by that.
Not that it just the gender swap did not work for me.
No, it didn't. And I mean, it would have added so much more to Black Widow, her taking on a dude that can mimic all of her fighting abilities and stronger and faster. I mean,
right.
That's a given. I mean, it's genetics.
Right.
And anyway, so you go from there to their plan unfurls perfect. You find out that she can't attack Dreykov because he had pheromone therapy. And
I thought that was. I'm sorry for lack of a better word. I thought that was fucking lame.
It was very lame. It's like your smell. Your smell's doing this.
I can smell this gross old dude.
Yeah. Just think, he probably puts on like Old Spice. So anytime anybody has Old Spice, she can't attack him.
Yeah. I thought that. Yeah.
They could have done something else, like a visual thing to him. Like if you would have explained anything else besides fucking pheromones, you decided to use a $12 scientific word and throw it in there.
Yep.
It's all you did. So,
but I'm just gonna tell you right now, the fact that she like tried, like, so they said like they knew that she couldn't attack him. Rachel Weisz told her that they flash back and you can't attack him because he had the pheromones.
Ocean's 11 style.
Yeah, and then it was great because she got him to like.
Before they even showed that scene, he was hitting her, and I knew that was what.
Oh, okay.
She was going because that's something she's done in all the Marvel movies. Like she's interrogated people in weird ways to get what she needed out of it, and that was really good. I like that.
Right, but I did like the fact that she tried to get him to do it himself. To when they flash back to say you got to sever the nerve so that you can't smell the pheromones and all that stuff, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was fucking gangster when she fucking broke her fucking nose on the table. I thought that was awesome.
Oh yeah. Because then she put it back into place. I'm like, how'd you break your nose with no blood coming out? But it was still pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Because I broke my nose before. Fucking fountain. So yeah,
You just didn't break it right.
I gotta break.
You need an expensive desk.
Yes, it's got to be like mahogany or
Yes.
like some type of hardwood oak.
Yes.
So
Like cherry wood.
he beats the shit out of her. He says, "Oh, he's really full of himself, obviously, because I'm the mastermind." Blah blah blah.
Right.
She saw it coming. She managed to get out that like little pad thing that showed all of the Black Widows across the world,
Yep. Got him to reveal his password.
and it was his ring. And yeah, and then at that moment, she sends of course, he doesn't think he's in any type of danger, so he sends not Taskmaster down to take care of her quote unquote family.
Right.
Then you see a pretty cool fight between not Taskmaster
Taskmaster.
and Red Guardian.
Yes.
Yeah, and so that's going on, and he's getting his ass kicked because girl power.
Right.
And Rachel Weisz decides to totally debilitate one of the engines, and the thing starts falling from the sky.
Yeah.
At that moment, the trap is sprung,
Yes.
and Black Widow shows she's no fool, and she starts beating the shit out of him
Right.
to stop this nefarious plot.
Right.
And, well, then it goes your typical action movie. He tries to get away, sends in all these Black Widows, and they start beating the shit out of her.
Yeah.
Because there's like 15 of them.
They
and
gave
they're
her
highly
quite
trained.
the mollywhopping.
It was a Donnybrook to the nth degree.
Yeah, Katie barred the door.
Katie, we actually were reading thesaurus before we did this show. So you're welcome, America. So anyway, using all the vials, the little sister destroys them over the girls and frees them.
They're free.
Yes, it was like women's suffrage got destroyed all over again.
What do we do now?
What do we do now? I don't know. Live your life. I mean, you have a bunch of really good skill sets. I mean, you're kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, you could have a daughter and somebody could take her. And
No,
could
you
get
can't
her
have a
back.
daughter. None of them can have daughters.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, they got into quite some detail after they sprung Alexei from prison about what they
Yeah,
did.
we forgot
that
about
that was the part of the thing.
I felt uncomfortable.
I did. I felt that Yelena, she was very realistic, and
Yeah, she's very salty.
yeah, I liked her a lot.
Yes.
I thought she was a
I mean,
great.
because let's face it. I mean, we all know Black Widow's dead from what happened in Endgame.
Wait, what?
Well, I know, right? Anyway, so obviously she's going to take over for her, in my guesstimation. But
Sure.
anyway, so it's falling from the sky. He sends all the girls in. They get saved. Mind control's destroyed.
Right.
So everybody's got to get the fuck out of Dodge.
They
because
knew
of
how to
this.
fly that Russian Quinjet.
Yeah, Russian Quinjet. And, they trapped Taskmaster. And then this is another part where I was like, everybody was flying, like, doing, like, these, like...
Yeah, I kind of felt like that was like, man, how slow was that thing actually crashing? I mean,
Right.
it was falling apart upon itself.
Yes.
But it was like, you're just kind of sitting there going like, okay, so from the moment that it lost its engine to the moment that it actually crashed, I mean,
I would just say your stopwatch.
it might have been, it was like 15, 20 minutes of screen time.
Exactly.
And I was like, man, that is the slowest crash
It
I've ever seen.
reminded me of that scene in Austin Powers where the guard is in front of the steamroller and
Yep.
he's like, no, stop!
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's just very slowly coming at him.
Right.
But no, I'm not talking about specifically about that, Joe. I'm talking about like when they're all there and you see like the guards are flying, like they're closing in, they're doing like the hero thing that you usually do when
Oh,
they're
yeah,
falling
and
off
they-
the-
yeah, oh,
and they're
yeah,
shooting their guns
yeah,
at them.
yeah.
I'm like, these are really dedicated fucking guards.
Right.
I would not care.
Yeah, no, they had it. I mean, they were probably being controlled. They were Black Widowers.
Yes, but I think they were dudes. They had helmets on.
That's why I said they were widowers.
Oh, widowers.
Yeah.
Ah, I missed that.
See?
Yeah.
Hey, you just made the thesaurus comment.
Soros. So anyway, and the little sister actually killed the bad guy in this one. I thought that was a good touch.
Yes.
She blew up his ship. She got flung off of the very slow-moving platform that was falling to the earth. Natasha jumps after her, saves her because
Straps on a parachute.
which was cool because she's a fucking Avenger. She does that kind of shit all the time.
She avenges.
She avenges, and then Taskmaster does the same exact thing coming at her.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, this is a bit much. Everybody's doing this like torpedo thing, falling off something, and then they fight all the way to the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, a
They
parachute
like
deploys.
they like flew for hours. Or
Yes.
they fell. They fell
For
for
hours.
hours. Yeah. I mean, it was a great fight scene. I mean,
Yeah, it was good.
once again, you're just like, at some point, this ship's got to crash.
Yes. So
Everything else hit the ground except for this gigantic heavy thing.
Right.
That probably should have. I mean, I know that all things only reach a speed.
There's
terminal
it's
velocity.
yes.
Terminal velocity is only one speed. Doesn't matter what
it is,
size.
yes.
But I mean, you would just think that it would just start falling just a little bit
it's
quicker.
a little bit quicker.
Yeah, but I mean, that all just happened so quick.
Yeah, there's a bunch of ducks that got in the way. I
Yeah.
mean, it kind of slowed it up.
Right.
So they're on the ground. Round 2, Taskmaster, Black Widow.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Black Widow owns her. It's not like she lost all of her abilities. She still could read everything she did.
I think that they kind of wanted to say that.
It was that chip.
Well, no, that like if you watch that part of the fight, she kind of went like against her normal
Fighting style?
her normal fighting style, which she had already taskmastress.
Not Taskmastered.
Yeah, taskmastress.
Yes.
Taskmistress.
Taskmistress. That's
Yes.
fine if you would even call it Taskmistress. What? Anyway, it's just pissing me off. Anyway, so she beats him.
Yes.
She beats her.
Yes.
Sorry.
See,
Ugh.
yep, see.
She beats her.
How
And then
dare
and
you.
releases her with the vial, which they never explained how she had that vial.
No, she had it.
When?
She picked it up.
Oh, she did. Oh, yeah, she did.
Were you watching the movie, Travis?
I did watch the movie, but
Are you sure?
I was still fuming about the whole Taskmaster thing, Joe.
Taskmistress.
Not Taskmaster. Not Taskmaster.
Okay.
So anyway, okay. So everybody's safe and sound on the ground. Bad guy's dead. Everybody's emancipated from their mind control.
Correct.
General Ross shows up.
Right.
This is another thing.
Did you catch the part where she gave her the last vial so that they could replicate it and free them all?
Yes. I
Okay,
see
you did catch that?
Yes.
Because that was like very blatant, just like her picking it up. Because
Yeah.
you missed that one part. I was just making sure. I was just making sure that you.
He's
did
very offended. You can see him. He's mad. He's like,
I'm just mad that you didn't watch the movie.
he's actually barefoot stepping on Legos right now.
I
'cause he's
can't
so mad.
believe that are doing this review and you didn't actually watch the movie.
I did watch the movie.
I need
I
to see your ticket stub.
I got fixated. It's right next to my vaccine card, bro.
Okay.
So anyway. So anyway,
Did you take a picture of it?
yeah, I sure did.
right.
So anyway,
Because it doesn't work until you take a picture of it.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, General Ross shows up with this whole convoy of Humvees, and the Russian Quinjet lands, and all the Black Widows, and Natasha's family load into it, and she's like, "I got this. I'll slow them down."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "You're on the run too." And then guess what happens? It just cuts to 2 fucking weeks later. I'm like,
Yeah.
"So what happened?"
They let her go.
Yeah, because that's how it works. The rest of them are in jail. I was like, you guys actually didn't know how to get out of this, did you? That aggravated the piss out of me. And then, I read something online. They're like, well, I like it because it's open to interpretation on how she did that. I'm like, she's in the middle of a field surrounded by a literal fucking army.
Right.
She does not have superhuman abilities.
Nope.
She's just an expert assassin.
I kind of felt the same way too. I was like, why didn't they just take 5 minutes of do a montage of conviction, and then show who got her out or something, and then go to the fact where
Yes.
that Mason steals her a Quinjet, and now she's got a Quinjet.
Yeah, so it cuts to 2 weeks later, and Mason, the guy that can get anything,
Yeah, if you give him enough time.
if you give him enough time.
Right.
I want a dinosaur. So anyway, he's like, there it is, and then there's she got Quinjet. So and she's talking about how I got to take care of my other family. They're in a bad way, and I'm gonna bring some family members from prison. And I'm like, yes, but guess what? I saw Cap do that before you did, so you're kind of late on the ball, Toots.
Yeah.
Should have watched Civil War. So anyway, the movie ends.
Yes.
And there's
roll credits.
Roll credits, after credits, extra scene. Go figure, Marvel movie. 'Cause
They
that's what
never do this.
They never do this.
They've never even incited this in any other movies either.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And it jumps, I don't know, to the present day in the MCU.
Yes.
So
Post blip.
post blip, you have Elena
Yep.
visiting Natasha's grave,
Yeah.
and then Elaine Bennis shows up.
Yeah. Well, actually, Elaine Bennis's name is Contessa Valentina Allegra de la Fontaine,
Yes,
or AKA Madam Hydra.
it is Madam Hydra. And I had to make sure, because when she said her name, I wasn't quite sure who it was, because I didn't watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but they didn't say her name in there either.
No, they did.
Oh, they did?
They did.
I didn't watch Falcon and Winter Soldier.
She said that. She said
Just called her Valentina.
Valentina. Yeah, that was it. Valentina Fontaine.
Yeah.
Is what she was in that
Yeah,
one.
and those who are learned comic book scholars, such as we,
Yes.
know this is Madam Hydra.
Correct.
And because my understanding is in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, she approached U.S. Agent and actually called him U.S. Agent.
Correct.
And I actually like U.S. Agent as a character in the comics. I thought he's a great character because he's like the dick Captain America.
Right.
He's not Captain America. So, anyway, they totally set it up for the Hawkeye series, because she's like, oh, you want to know the guy that killed your sister?
Right.
Okay, that's a real simplified way of looking at it, but yeah, obviously you're an asshole. But I already know you're an asshole because you're Madam Hydra.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, my question is that no one was there to know.
Right.
She
Yes.
She
Thank
just
you. I was about to mention that.
She just didn't come back. I don't understand how they had that. Unless there was just some massive debriefing that they all did at that point.
I think they had it. I think they had enough goodwill from, I don't know, half the universe to where they're not going to ask, look, dude, you saved all of us. We appreciate it. We don't need to go into fucking details.
Yeah. No, I mean, I said it. Well, okay. So you set up the Hawkeye series. I believe that they're setting up the Dark Avengers.
I think that's what it is too.
Yeah.
That or Masters of Evil.
Yes, correct. But something good is coming of this movie, which like I said, I mean, I'll give it 1.5 thumbs up.
I will give it a moose knuckle up. I'm just joking. I'll give it a 1 thumb up, because it wasn't bad. It wasn't great. there was things about it that just really pissed me off, but there was good stuff too.
I thought it was better than the movie that you couldn't say was not a good movie when it comes to the Marvel movie, but we won't go into that.
Yeah, because somebody passed away.
Yeah.
And because somebody passes away, it automatically makes it the best movie ever.
Yeah, no.
But I mean, that wasn't even a bad movie either. But Black Widow was better than it.
Yes.
A lot of movies were better than it. Fucking rhinos. We're still not going to say which one it is.
Speaking of rhinos, I heard that Paul Giamatti's not really happy that he's not going to be in the new Star
Wars.
Spider-Man movie.
Oh, yeah, they're not bringing Rhino in, but they're bringing it. Well, I mean, yeah, I liked him. And I don't remember Rhino being a Russian gangster, but okay, that's fine.
Right, but we're getting away from the whole
Yes, we're
thing.
getting away from that. But that was our review of Black Widow. Like I said, not a great movie, not a terrible movie. It was simply Was it worth the wait? No.
I think they should have did it for $29.99 a piece. I think that during the pandemic, it would have went over like gangbusters.
Well, yeah, because, everybody was at home not doing anything. I think your pastime was looking out the window.
I did. I enjoyed looking out the window.
You can actually get those pictures on Joe's OnlyFans account.
You should grab that for this part.
I think I will. Alrighty. Well, hey, thanks for joining us on the Broken Battery Pop Culture Podcast, brought to you, as always, by Broken Battery.
Hey, like and subscribe. Eventually, we want to get paid for doing this.
You can see us on Google Apps, on Apple Podcasts, on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. Everyone, you have a great night, and we'll see you at the movies.
Stay off the pipe. Don't forget to wipe.